Om Namah Shivaya, Episode 17, Chapter 4, verses 24 to 32. Karma Yajna, the fire ritual and others. Verse 24 states a very beautiful mantra that is chanted before meals to instill in us a sense of gratitude towards Ishvara for the food that we are about to partake. However, in this chapter, this verse refers to a fire ritual, that all the factors involved, like the person who is doing the yajna, the deity to whom the yajna is being offered, the altar, the oven kun into which the oblation is being offered, the wooden ladle with which clarified butter is offered, the mantras chanted, the oblation offered like the grains, the seed, the nuts, the dry fruits are all Brahman. All these are in manifestation because of Brahman, the cause for the entire creation. Recognizing this, we must do our duties as a yajna, an offering to the law of Dharma. So let's now analyze the verse. Number 1, Brahmarpanam, the means of offering. And here there are two means. First is the wooden ladle with which clarified butter is offered. The woodness in the wooden ladle is due to Brahman, because Ishvara's Maya Shakti caused the 5 elements to manifest first in a subtle and gross form, which resulted in the tree having grown and for the wooden ladle to be made, thereby recognizing Brahman in the wooden ladle. Second, the mantras chanted. When we do a fire yajna, we offer the oblation by chanting a mantra. And the ability to chant the mantra is due to the Atma within, thereby recognizing Brahman in the chant. Number 2, Brahma Havi, the oblation that is being offered. And in a yajna, we offer grains, seeds, nuts, dry fruits, roots, herbs. All these are plant-based. Each have their Atma in them, thereby recognizing Brahman in this oblation. Number 3, Brahmagna, the fire, into which this oblation is being offered. Fire is one of the 5 elements, thereby recognizing Brahman in the fire. Number 4, Brahmanahutam, the act of offering is Brahman. Because Brahman, without Brahman, we cannot do the action. So this is seeing in action, in action. Number 5, Brahma Karma Samadhinam. The person who is doing this ritual has the intellect to see that everything is Brahman. Without Brahman, no action is possible. Therefore, he has the knowledge to see action in inaction. And number 6, Brahma eva tena gantavayam. The purpose of doing this ritual is to reach Brahman, to accomplish Brahman. There is no other purpose whatsoever. We are not doing a ritual to fulfill our desires, not even for the purification of our mind, but to accomplish Brahman. That is why men of wisdom did all their actions as yajna. For the people, loka sangraha hartam, as they have nothing to accomplish, their time was available to help people to gain the purpose of human birth. So we too must try and do all our duties as yajna to the law of dharma by recognizing that one truth, Brahman, in all our actions, in every atom in this universe. So let's chant this verse. Om Brahmarpanam Brahmahavir Brahmagnau Brahmanauhutam Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhinam. Om. Verses 25 to 27 teaches us the difference between Karma Yoga and Sannyasa. As Karma Yogis, we do Karma Yajna. We invoke various deities with full faith for the purification of our mind by offering our 5 senses of perception and our 5 powers of action, by consciously and deliberately disciplining all fanciful and mechanical activities to gain mastery of our senses, Indriya Agnishu. Whereas as sannyasis, we do Jnana Yajna. We meditate and contemplate upon the knowledge of Brahman by offering our ego, ahamkara, along with our 5 senses of perception, 5 powers of action, and our 5 pranas, unto the fire of self-mastery, Atma Samyama Yoga Agnau, lighted by knowledge, Jnana Dipate, to gain clear vision, Samyak Darshana, that we are Brahman. Verses 28 to 30 tells us other yajnas which we must do for the purification of our mind. Number 1, Dravya Yajna, distribution of wealth to those in need. Number 2, Tapo Yajna, austerities of the mind, like fasting, observing silence, and taking vows. Number 3, Yoga Yajna, doing asanas to gain flexibility of the mind and body to meditate. Number 4, Swadhyaya, chanting to gain a focused mind. Number 5, Jnana Yajna, studying the Gita, the Upanishads, the Vedanta, to know the difference between Atma and Anatma, Dharma and Adharma. Number 6, doing conscious breathing, pranayama. Breathing is an involuntary action, but here we do it voluntarily to gain a tranquil mind. And number 7, control of intake of food, because we have the tendency to eat more when the food is delicious and not to eat otherwise. So we must have discipline in eating. When we eat, we must ensure that half the stomach is filled with solid, quarter with liquid, and quarter left empty for digestion. Verse 31 has 2 parts. The first part is praising the Karma Yogis who are doing their duties as yajna for the purification of their mind, which will qualify for Jnana Yoga, to inquire into the knowledge of Brahman, to taste the nectar of Jnana Yajna. Yajna, Sister Amrita Bhuja, to gain eternal Brahman, Sanatanam Brahma. This knowledge is very special because right now we are Atma, we are Brahman. And knowledge of this fact alone liberates. The second part is a criticism to encourage those who are not doing their duties as yajna to do so. Success is what we gain out of life. And for this, we must be karma yogis. We must purify our mind and gain the knowledge of Brahman. Otherwise, life has nothing to offer us. Ayam loka nasti. Verse 32 sums up this section on karma yajna. And this verse is an interesting and a confusing verse. Men of wisdom know that all the yajnas recommended in the Vedas are done by our body, mind, senses. It is unreal. It is not born of Atma. Jnana Yajna alone gives us the vision to see that the doer is Atma, but Atma is not the doer. Atma is a witness. Atma performs no action, and without Atma, no action is possible. Knowing this and abiding to this liberates. Evam jnatva vimokshase. At verse 32, we shall take a break, and next we are going to learn about Jnana Yajna. So till then, Om Namah Shivaya.